Hello and welcome to another Wargame Red Dragon video with me, Bubblebox, as we continue the Bubble and Silver and Vulcan Do Deck series. Yes, we are joined again by Vulcan from Vulcan HD Gaming. Please do check out his link in the description below. And today we're continuing with these more specialised and unusual, I guess, decks with the Eastern Bloc Airborne deck. And it's Silver Raptor that's going to kick off this time with the Logistics tab. Silver.
Thanks. I got a fob because one thing about Airborne is that they use the fob the most due to the fact they have so many helicopters that they can fly back and forth between the fob and the front line a lot, so I thought fob was a pretty important part of this deck. I also got the MI6s because there's really no truck supply in this deck, so you might as well just get the most supply helicopter you can. So I grabbed the MI6 for that purpose. And for CV, I know you guys are going to be glaring at me very violently after I say this. I got the Mi-2D Przycznik Polish helicopter CV, and the reason why is I just wanted to have enough CVs that I would be able to replace losses a bit, because Airborne needs to be a bit flexible. And I chose this because it's a very small size, so I thought it would just be harder to hit, and it's also faster than the other helicopter CV that I could choose from. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but that's my CV.
I think just get a UAZ then.
Yeah, yeah. Like,
because
the
you can
stealth
hide
is
it.
poor on this thing. You will spot it. You always spot a helicopter CV.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that if I'm just gotta be jolly on the spot and be able to move it really quickly if I suspect that it has been spotted, and just move it around. So I'll just see
I think you'll have to put 2 on each and then keep moving 1. That costs you 200 points now. But okay, each to their own. Vulcan, what have you got?
I've got a card of the Firung's UAZ. Yet 7 of them, but they're terrible. But there we go. I've got a card of them, mainly because I've only got 3 command infantry units to work with. So I've got the Velitelski Stab with the Mi-17. Yeah, and then that's accompanied by the UAZs. So I'll probably use the UAZs to capture like defensive sectors, you know, the ones behind, and then the infantry can be a bit more aggressive. Then I have a fob, and I have the Mi-8 ZAOPs to transport supply backwards and forwards. The reason I didn't go for the Mi-6 is just because I wanted more, and also these are cheaper, so I can keep these as like a supply train where you'd normally use trucks.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, for mine, I've got the UAZ, the Furazungs, or whatever you pronounce that, the same as you. That's all I've got, 7 of them. Haven't got anything else. So, yeah, like you say, they are terrible, but that's pretty much all there is. I guess I could have got some infantry as well, but I filled all my points up. Now, I haven't got any fob. I am going to be using someone else's.
Of course.
But I have got an MI6, set of MI6s, and I don't know what you think about this, a set of the MI4 Zazu, whatever they are, that have got very small amount of supply. Well, I say small, it's still 1,000, because we haven't got any trucks in this game, and I needed something a bit cheaper to get a bit closer, because the chances are more that the closer they are to the front line that they're going to get hit. So I thought I'd get some small ones for close to the front line and some bigger ones for further back, that the small ones can actually resupply from, because small choppers do resupply from larger choppers now.
That does make sense.
And that's my logistics. So we'll move on to the infantry.
Okay. So the infantry in this is incredibly expensive, and that really does do my head in. But to start off with, I have some FJB in THS Mi-24Ds, because you get them as elite, and you may as well bring them in the Mi-24Ds, in my opinion. It's not even that much more expensive than the cheapest helicopter you can bring them in, so that's why I chose that unit to bring in Mi-24Ds with. Then I have some LSTRs 40s. These are just great. Again, 24 AP power on their 70% accurate RPGs, so cracking for destroying armor at close range. And they also have a 55% accurate Igla missile, so that's also something to look out for. They have elite training, and they're also amazing with their rifles. So just an all-round great unit.
Yeah,
Submachine gun.
what chopper have you bought them in?
I've got them in the Mi-8Ts. I didn't want to go too expensive with those because I'm actually going to be using them quite a lot. Compared to like the FJB, which is like a worse version of the LSTR, I decided to use them for the Mi-24 instead.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and to make note, the Mi-8Ts actually allow you to bring in more LSDR-40s than the more expensive helicopters. So
Yeah. Then I have a card of Leichtschützen in Mi-24Ds again, mainly because you have to bring them in an Mi-24, and the Mi-24A is terrible. So
yeah,
I bought them in the Mi-24D, and I've got 14 of those. Great for just being defensive in towns, really. So yeah, they have an 80s gem to shoot at enemy APCs, and they also have, a decent assault rifle and machine gun to hold back infantry.
Yep, decent little unit.
Right.
Then I have the Wacht Regiment in Mi-8Ts. I have one card in Mi-8Ts, and I have one card in Mi-24Ds. One in Mi-8Ts because I want the availability of 14 Wacht regiments, and then in the Mi-24D because obviously you can get them as elite, and more elite Mi-24Ds never hurt anyone. So that's what I was going for there. The Wacht regiment, obviously the great unit because they have the 30% accuracy and 30% stabilizer, so amazing on the move, and pushing into towns with their 15 strength. So that's what they're amazing for. Also, they have a CQC machine gun, which helps them out a lot.
Yep, 15 strength makes a big difference.
Then I have Commandozi. I actually have one card coming in Mi-2s because the Mi-2s are probably the cheapest helicopters you can get. And therefore, they can be used alongside other infantry squads, but cheaply. So elite training, Commandozi, again a 15 strength squad. They have the AKS-74U and a CQC machine gun, great for close quarters combat. And they do have a 60% accurate RPG as well, which is great for taking out APCs. So a decent unit. And then I've got another card of those in Mi-24Ds as well. Again, more elite Mi-24Ds.
God.
And finally, I have two cards of Vizakari in Mi-40s. Both of them are Mi-40s, basically because it's the cheapest infantry combo you can get, 15 and 15. So it's like the cheapest being like 13 points unless you go for like the... Actually, I think that is the cheapest, like even including anti-air and HGMs. So yeah. Vizakari, not Vizakari 90 because I don't need the the upgraded RPG if you've got so many Mi-24Ds. So yeah, Vizakari is just a great infantry squad, shock trained, only 10-man squads, but CQC machine gun. This is like my staple infantry that I'll be using the most, and that's why I've got two cards of them.
Okay, brilliant.
And that's everything.
Silver.
Well, I got LSTR-40s and Mi-8Ts, like I said, because I get more of them and they're very good. I also got Commandozi, 2 cards of them, elite trained in Sockles, and Sockles are very, very good with that minigun, I guess is what it would be. Very good high rate of fire, especially at elite trained. Those could definitely support a Commandozi advance. I also got some Sappersy in W3T Sockles as well. The reason why I got these is they're napalm troops that are shock trained, which I think would be very beneficial in sort of supporting taking the village by suppressing the enemy infantry out. And I did get 2 cards of Vach Regiment and Mi-24Ds at elite trained, kind of as sort of a support. Since they rely so much on close combat, I'm definitely going to be running these in the villages. I was thinking the Mi-24D would be able to support them better flying overhead while these run into villages. Then also I got the Granatomet frag grenades.
Yeah.
in MI-17s. So support a little bit more support, fire support to help take villages. Conquer M, keep tanks away once I secure the area. Very good ATGM missile. And finally, PPZR Groms in MI-17s, another AA troop. Just remember to bring these in if I don't need LSDR for these peppers in the area, help shoot down other aircraft. So, yeah, that's my infantry.
Okay, it's a lot of man pads. Okay.
Yeah.
Of course, I've got the same kind of mixture. Commandoses in MI-24Ds and Commandoses in Sokols. I agree the Sokols on paper look pretty good, although in practice I find them quite difficult to use. You do have to get them quite close, although they can be used to shoot at choppers as well, as long as they're not anti-air choppers. So yeah, good in theory the Sokols, although I do, as I say, find them quite difficult to use in practice. So I've got two sets of Commandoses, LSTRs with their nice Igla missiles in MI8 TVs. I was trying to sort of manage my choppers so that they're not just like Vulcan, so they're not costing too much, because this can be a very, very expensive infantry deck if you're not careful. Then I've got two sets of the basic 25-point Vark regiments, both in MI8Ts, the cheapest chopper, or the cheapest rocket pod chopper, should I say, and they are my staple infantry. And I got the lower graded version, the 25-point version, because you get more of them. And then I've got the Conkers M's, and I've got the normal Conkers as well, because you can only get one set of Conkers M's. So I've got two sets of ATGM units, both in MI17s. This time with the slightly better rocket pod, although only 20 rockets, but more powerful. And then as another infantry squad, I've actually gone for the Leica Pacotas rather than I've forgotten what you went for, but I've gone for the Leica Pacotas, both in MI17s again. That's about the cheapest one I had left once I've used all my MI8s up. I've used some of my MI8s for my recon tab as well, so I didn't have them all to use in the infantry, and that is my infantry.
Yeah.
So, wow.
Fair enough.
That was a lot. That's a lot of infantry to choose from.
I think you were thinking of my Vizikaris.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. I just comparing them to the Leica Pacotas, quite a similar kind of.
Yeah, they're basically the same. It's just that you can get they're just a little bit cheaper, the Vizikaris, but they don't have as good AT weapon.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's too bad we won't bring in all of our infantry before any game is over.
Yeah.
Well, if you do, you can have a lot of choppers hanging around all over the place. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the support tab. Who's first in the support tab?
Yeah.
I first got off by picking up the MFRW BM21 HE rocket artillery, and I got these basically to kind of panic and suppress an area that I'm going in for with helicopters to try to make the AA miss more, and also stun it so that my helicopters have a better way of overwhelming an AA area purely by numbers of helicopters. I also got the Hiber Newt Zer 2325, the little truck with a gun and some Strela 3s on the back. They're cheap. I just realized I needed something cheap AA to come in to try to kind of hold down an area a bit, again, against other helicopters. And finally I got the Flatcom Strela 10Ms as well, since they're pretty decent AA on the right. So that's my support.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. I've got basically the same, but I've got the Polish units. I've got the Strela 10M, which is basically the Strela 10M. And yeah, they're great because of obviously the 50% stabilizer. Great on the move. Then I've got the ZG23-2s. I haven't got the 20 or the 2Ss. I've got just the standard 15-point ones because, these are the ones that I'm just going to spam about all over the place, and I don't want them to cost too much. I have the Strelas for the 5 HE power infrared missiles, so don't need to go all out with these little trucks as well. Although I probably could have got a card of each. But yeah, I just like the fact that they're only 15 points. You can spread them about. They can support your infantry pushing into towns very well. And they're speedy. They have 90 km/h speed off-road, which is actually really fast for a wheeled vehicle. So, yep, that's always nice.
Okay.
Then I do have my BM21 Grad, which is basically the same as the BM21 MFRW. Like Silver said, incredibly important these are actually as part of a helicopter deck, because you do need to definitely stun that anti-air, otherwise you're not going to get anywhere. But hopefully that will be down to the support person anyway, playing a support deck if we ever play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But ideally, yeah, I've got one just in case.
Okay, well, I haven't got any artillery at all in this deck because I just think it's terrible. Yeah, it will stun stuff, those rockets, but yeah, I just don't think it's worth spending 150 points for 2 of them, and yeah, simply not worth it. So I didn't get any. AA, I've got the PLRKS IOM, otherwise known as the Strellas. 2 sets of those, both hardened. So I've got 10. Really nice. 12 missiles, so they take a long time to run out of ammo. 50% accuracy, stabilizer. Very, very nice unit. And I've also got the upgraded Hiberts, the Hiberts Z23-2S, one with the Strellas. I guess you can get away without the Strellas because of the fire rate from that. It looks like a Shrezet, doesn't it? Especially against helicopters, it's going to take down any helicopter if it gets within the 2,450 meter range of this truck. Anyway, but I got the one with the Strellas, and I think I'll stick with it because it's got a 1,800 meter against planes as well if they fly over the top, and it's also got a stabilizer, so they can fire on the move as well. And that's it for my support.
I just want to say that I find it funny that each one of us chose a different Strela from a different nation.
Yeah, I noticed that. I picked the Polish one, Silver got the East German one, and Bubble, you got the Czech one.
Well, do you know why? I did it for a
exactly
reason. I actually did it because no one recognises what a PLRKS IOM is. If people see that on the map, they haven't got a clue what it is. Whereas if they see Strela, they know what it is. So that's why I get it.
Okay. Fair enough. Bit of mind games going on.
Bit of mind games, yeah.
All right. So, I guess, Vulcan, go and cover your tanks for us.
Yeah, there are no tanks. So let's move
swiftly on to the recon.
To the recon.
Okay, so I'll continue on the recon.
Okay.
So for my recon, I've got the AHS Mi-8R, 8 health recon with exceptional optics. I just think is worth having. 75 points isn't actually too much, and can spot a lot of things. I was kind of relying on this for other people to almost have this because it's just so good, and if you're playing like even for both decks, for the tank deck we're going to be playing with and the support deck we're going to be playing with, the exceptional recon on a helicopter is going to be invaluable. So I was hoping you two have it. If not, oh well. I do have the Mi-2 as well, just more of them, more helicopters. If I don't want to go too costly, I can get the 40-point Mi-2s. That works as well. And then I also have another helicopter. I have the W3U Salamandra with its 4 Saclos missiles, 55% accurate, 22 AP power. This will be a little sniper for me with its recon. That's what I went for. I didn't actually take any more infantry. I didn't feel like I needed it.
Wow, proper airborne reconnaissance there. Yeah. Okay. Silver.
I got 2 stacks of Formosa and Mi-24Ds. Reason why I got 2 of these at Elite is because I think they complement each other pretty well. The Formosa lacked the actual vehicle killing power, and the Mi-24D does just that. So, and the Formosa Elite makes the Mi-24D pretty good. So, I just thought that was a good complement. So I got 2 stacks of those. I also got some. Oh no, I have to pronounce this. Specialini Geonoctui 90s and Mi-25. They're the Czech Elite. And the reason why is because they just have incredible weapons. With 533 round per minute main gun and a light machine gun, 422 rounds per minute, I just thought these would be pretty decent frontline recon. And I got them in the Mi-25. So they could share the veterancy.
Mhm.
And then finally, I got the Camp Vorpschimmer, the two-man infantry squad, because since I knew we were going to be playing with a support deck, I was hoping to try to get these behind enemy lines and help spot for them as well. And I got them in helicopters, or the cheapest helicopter, because I don't want to pay too much for them.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
I also got the Salamandra as well, because, I mean, come on. An anti-tank guided missile helicopter with very good recon optics. It's very good.
Yeah, I got the Salamandra as well. I just really like the look of it for 80 points. I don't think it's over expensive. I don't really see why. You might be able to correct me. You'd get the Salamandra and the AHS MIBR as well. Don't know. I'll just bring out the Salamandras for 80 points, only 5 points more. I know one's exceptional and one's very good, but yeah. Then I've got the BTR 40A. I've got this as just a general spread around kind of recon unit. And the reason I got this one over and above any of the other vehicle recon units is that it can shoot helicopters at a range of 1,750 meters at quite a higher rate of fire. So if it gets discovered by a chopper, it's going to shoot the damn thing down, hopefully. Then
or stun it at the very least.
Well, I think it'll shoot it down.
Yeah, it'll probably shoot it down if it was in range.
Yeah. I've also got 3 infantry. I've got the 2-man squad Kampfschwimmers in Mi-8Ts. Again, I've tried to go for a cheapish chopper with these recon because otherwise it just gets too expensive. I've got Formosas, which are a decent infantry squad in their own right in Sokols as well. Not that I need more infantry and choppers, but you know, I like the Formosas. They're a good squad, and they're a recon squad as well. And I've got another set of Formosas in the only truck that I could find in the whole game, the Stars. So I've actually got some infantry in some trucks that I can bring in as well if required. And that's my recon.
Yeah. Just the point about the MI8 is that it's the reason you'd have an MI8 is it's a very stationary recon unit. That's why I have both, because the Salamander is the sort of thing you'd move around.
Yeah.
The Mi-8T is just going to be sitting there, and then if it takes a hit, you can retreat it, and it's still going to be alive because it has 8 strength. But yeah, the reason I took all helicopter is because this deck is very like almost all in, but very maneuverable. You're not going to want to keep going to the same place with your helicopters, otherwise they are just going to get shot down by counter AA. So that's why I took recon helicopters. They will be amongst my normal helicopters with the infantry in them, and in that way they should provide the recon that you actually need in order to use this deck efficiently. So yeah. I like ground recon's just going to be too slow.
Okay.
I'll think about it. I might take out my Czech infantry because I do have 4 infantry in this recon squad for that Mi-8. I'll think about it and decide at the end. For the reasons you listed, Vulcan.
Okay, let's move on then to the vehicles tab. Silver, I think.
Yep.
I got nothing.
Okay.
Wow, nice.
Vulcan.
I have actually quite a lot.
Really?
I've got 3 cards. I've got a card of BRDM2 Conquers M's with the 50% accuracy and the 23 AP power. I actually have these hardened as well, just because they are like actually really good value for money HGM units. So although they may get sniped by tanks very easily, I just think that I needed some HGMs, so I brought these in as my HGM supplement.
Okay.
Then I've got 2 cards of ASU 85Ms, and the reason for that is because they're supremely cheap, and if it ever gets to the point where like you're bogged down in like a in a town or like in a forest, like squads of 4 of these will just annihilate infantry squads like instantly. So yeah, they're not as good as the SU 122s that you can get as the USSR, but they're still just as good for destroying infantry squads in large numbers. And that's why I have so many of them.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I took a look at this tab and I thought, I'm not really too interested in any of the units. I could have gone for the flak, but I've got plenty of AA in the deck already. But so I just decided I wanted to fill my 1-point tab, so I went for the best unit. I went for the Brom 2 Conquers M. So that's my thinking on that. Wanted to get my 1 point in there. So we'll move on swiftly to the choppers. What have you got in your choppers tab?
Okay, so to start, I've got the DHS Mi-24P.
Yes.
Worth having. 10 strength anti-air helicopter. Very, very strong.
As well as anti-tank.
Yeah, it also has the anti-tank capability with the Cocon M, 55% accurate, 22 AP power missiles. So yeah, just a really, really strong unit for 95 points. Then I have 2 cards of W3 W Sokols, but these are both veteran. And the reason I've got so much like anti-air helicopters is mainly because it's an airborne deck, and you need to really make sure that your initial push isn't countered by enemy AA helicopters.
Yeah.
So that's where the emphasis on anti-air helicopters in my deck comes from, because I want to overwhelm theirs.
That was my thought as well.
Yeah, and then finally I have a card of Mi-35s. These are veteran as well, again for more anti-tank capability.
With the 8 missiles this time. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Silver.
I got the Mi-24P DHS as well that Vulcan had. I got the 2 Sokos at veteran, same reason for Vulcan. But I got the Mi-24W, which is essentially the Mi-35. Just
it's exactly the
different
same,
nation.
I think.
Yeah, it is the same. I got 2 stacks of those at veteran as well. I also got some Mi-25s S24 because of those 10 HE power rockets are very good at just annihilating infantry, and I got these hardened because this is actually the deck where you can actually get them at their highest veterancy level to really make use of those rockets and Fleta missiles for devastating effect. And finally, I got 2 stacks of the KHS Mi-8TB for a bit of like spam helicopters, fly into a swarm and overwhelm an air defense area by rockets and anti-tank missiles. So it's a very use them up for more expensive, more valuable helicopters to fly in later.
I think if you're going to spam, why not take Mi-4s? Like, Mi-4s are better. They have more HE power, and they have more rockets. Well, actually, they have less rockets, but they're more powerful. So
yeah. Well, I was thinking not only with the rocket pods, which can stun more, the fact that there's more of them, but they also have the Malyuka missiles, which can just kind of fly. I can just see them flying in the direction.
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. They do have stabilizers as well, so they can fire them on the move.
Yeah, and I was just thinking of just constantly keep moving them, whereas the rocket pods sometimes have to stop and turn, whereas the Malyuka missile can just sort of fly in that direction.
There will literally be, like, if you brought in a spam of these, all you'll see is AGMs flying in all directions and then finally landing on their targets.
I actually did that in the game, and it was so glorious.
Yeah,
it just looks so beautiful.
It will look silly. It will look so silly.
Cool. Right. My turn, I think. So I've got the DHS Mi-24P. I really like this chopper. This is kind of the Red 4 version of the oh my god, I've forgotten the name of it. You know which one I'm talking about. It's got anti-air. It can shoot at aircraft as well at 3,150
I like the
meters.
Celtic.
Not the Celtic, the oh my god,
We're
Super
talking
Cobra.
NATO or
Super Cobra.
Oh, the Super Cobra. Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of the Red 4 version of the Super Cobra, I think.
But the Super Cobra is better. Because
it can shoot at the aircraft at a decent range as well. I think that does catch people out, shoot at helicopters. It's got 4 Cocon missiles, and that other gun can do damage as well once it's run out of its primary weapons. So I really like that chopper, one of my favourites. And another of my favourites, although Vulcan didn't go for this one, is the Mi-25S24. And I've used these and I've seen these do so much damage to HE targets. It's unbelievable. One of these rockets just completely destroys an HE target, whether it's infantry or an armoured car or even light tanks and things like that, destroys them. And it fires these 4 rockets really, really quickly as well. I mean, it's empty before you blink and it's empty. It's used all its 4 missiles up. So I really like that chopper as well in combination with the Mi-24P. Then I've got some KHS Mi-24Ps. Probably won't be using these too much, certainly at the beginning of the game. Be more likely to bring out the Mi-24Ps, but these are there. These have got the game rocket pods instead of the anti-air missiles over and above the Mi-24P really. And then I've got Sokols, basic Sokols. They're not vetted up or anything. I've got 5 of them. And then I have got 3 sets of Mi-4s. Yeah, just for my spammage.
You love those MI4s. The bubble copters, as I like to call them now.
Only if I can get enough of them. I'm not happy just with a few. You know, how many have I got here? It's in one deck. There's
You're gonna have like
40,
42.
30, yeah, 42. That's right. Yeah. So that's it. That's all my choppers. So we've got one big tab left to do.
Well, just before we move on, the reason I haven't got the S24 or actually many helicopters at all, I've only got like 4 cards, is mainly because I've actually got quite a few infantry cards that come in with the Mi-24Ds, and I thought I really had enough rocket pods.
That's true.
With all the Mi-8Ts and
I
all
was
that
thinking,
lot.
The reason why I have so few infantry that actually come in Mi-24Ds was because I wanted to have the better helicopters, and that's why I chose that.
Yeah,
that's why.
Just done it the other way around.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, if you do want to do a chopper spam at the end of a game, you can just send in all your empty choppers first that you've been using up in the whole game to bring your infantry in that have all used their ammo up, and then bring in all your Mi-4s behind them so they don't get shot down. Might be an idea.
Oh, the cheese.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to the aircraft. Who's going first in this? Wow, there's a lot of aircraft here. Okay, who's going first?
I think I am.
Go on then.
All right. So, first thing I decided to get a cheaper AA fighter to start off with, and that's the MiG-23ML. It has 2 7,000 meter range missiles. This is basically going to be a bit of a cannon fodder. It's going to be flying in front of the MiG-29 913S Polish fighter, which has longer semi-active radar range. Basically, so to take the missiles for this more expensive, better plane at the start, so kind of win air engagements. And then after that, I have the East German MiG-29 913S with its fire and forget Wimpel missiles for AA. So that's my air superiority fighters. After that, I got the Su-22 M4P, the Recede missiles, and I also got the Su-22 M4P of the East German as well. So I just get extra seed to make sure I could shoot down all the radar, because radar is definitely going to be the bane of this air deck's existence. I then got the Su-7BKL napalm bomber because of 8 napalm, kind of like the Phantom II of the American napalm bomber, just sort of carving an area with napalm. I also got the MiG-29 with the 4 napalm for more like precision, and I think no, they're the same, but they do have a HE power when they land, whereas the Su-7BKL doesn't. And then I got the MiG-25 RBF with its 8 500 kilogram bombs, and then I got the MiG-23 BN with its 6 500 kilogram cluster bomb munition, and that's all of my aircraft. It's the full tap.
Wow.
Blimey.
I tried to keep up with that.
Yeah, that was a mouthful.
Vulcan.
I tried to breathe once during that.
I think I followed most of that. The only thing I would probably disagree with was with the 2 napalms. Maybe
double napalm.
Not go for the cheap one. Get rid of the cheap one and get something else.
The MiG-29's too good.
I'll think about it. I'll look for something else in the meantime.
Poor ECM. Anyway, Vulcan, what have you got?
I've got 2 seed again, both the Su-24 M4P. So I like that is like a definite choice in this deck, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Having 4 seed aircraft just to make sure that your helicopters survive, is important. And also your other aircraft, because you do have so many aircraft as well. I do have a card of the MiG-29 912As with the napalm bombs and the 12 HE power. That 12 HE power can just like instantly kill like infantry squads that the bombs land on top of, and then it leaves the napalm there that spreads and it does even more damage. So yeah, they're really, really effective aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
Then I have the Su-22 M4 Seria 30, with the 2 TV guided missiles. Now this has a similar problem to the JH7 that we were looking at in our support deck, but I still think, like, it's the only decent anti-tank missile you get in this deck, I think. Unless you're going to go for the SU-25K, which I've also got, which has the 240mm rockets that you actually get on the Mi-24 or Mi-25 S-24. So yeah, it has those 4 240mm rockets with the 11 HE power. It's actually more HE power on the airplane, which is strange, probably but due to impact over anything else. Then it also has, obviously, its SAL missiles, the 50% accuracy, 28 AP power anti-tank missiles. Now, again, I'm not sure if I needed both, but I had the space for them. So, the SU-25K, if there's not much anti-air, can have a real fun time killing off lots of units, and it's also armoured, so it does take a beating. For my bomber, I got a MiG-25 RBF, 30% ECM, 1,000 km/h speed with 8 500kg bombs. Definitely worth having. And then finally, my air superiority is 2 MiG-29 913Ss with their 40% ECM and 900 km/h speed for only 150 points. They also have fire and forget Vimpower missiles, so that's also very useful. And that's all my aircraft.
Cool. Yep, I've got the MiG-29 913Ss as well, 2 of those. I've got the 4 Seed planes as well, both of those different types of plane, exactly the same. I've got the Su-22 M4 Syria 30 as my main kind of anti-tank weapon with its 2 missiles. And then I've got the MiG-29 912A Napalm, just the same as yourself and Silver Raptor with the 12 HE power that you spoke about briefly there. Then I've got the MiG-23BN Cluster Bomber. I don't know if either of you mentioned that one, but I've got I've got a cluster bomber in there. It's got a 20% ECM. Doesn't look the best thing in the world, but it's got 6 500kg bombs. So just got to be careful where you use that, as in with the other types of anti-tank planes as well. You've got to be just a little bit careful. Then I've got a MiG-25 RBF bomber, just a standard bomber really, but 30% ECM. I thought, well, maybe it will survive, maybe not. And then I've got the Su-22 M4 with the 2 big 1,000kg bombs. So the more I look at this deck, the more bomby it's looking. And then I've got 5 Avia S-105s for shooting down recon choppers. And that's it. I think with the planes, you've got to be just really careful what situation you're going to be using them in, because there's a lot of fairly expensive planes there, and it's just don't rush in and use any old thing. Just be really careful about the situation and think about where you're going to use them. And if you're a bit iffy, just don't use them. Try something else.
Yeah. The other thing to note is
easy to waste planes.
Yeah. The other thing to note is that in this deck, I think you get extra availability on these planes, like, quite significantly. Like the MiG-25 RBF, I don't believe you get 2 of them normally. You only get 1 on a standard deck. At least I think that's the case. That might not be correct, but
that is a nice aircraft, actually.
It is a very nice bomber.
Yeah.
I did swap out that extra napalm bomber, the 8 napalm, and I'm trying to decide between 2 other airplanes, if you guys would like to give me your opinion. Bubbles Avia 40-point plane is fun to take, but I'm also looking at the MiG-21 Lazur, and the reason why I'm thinking of the Lazur is that it has 2 missiles designed for helicopters, so in one pass it's basically firing both missiles at the helicopter, so it has potential killing, and you get the same availability.
It's too fast. Way too fast. Yeah.
Yeah, I got the Avias because they're slow and they get their missiles off.
It doesn't have enough HE power either. The Lazur only has 3 HE power on its first weapon and 4 on the second, so 1 pass won't kill a helicopter unless it has 6 HP.
So get the Avias then.
And that's assuming that both the missiles hit, which they probably won't, because they're only 40% accurate.
Right. Okay. Then I will go with the Avia. 40-point plane. It's fun to take, but I'm also looking at the MiG-29 912A Napalm, and I'm trying to decide between 2 other airplanes, if you guys would like to give me your opinion. Bubbles Avia because it's always fun to shoot rockets at air. But one reason why I don't have any anti-tank airplanes in this, because there's so many helicopters, and I think helicopters are more dedicated to taking out tanks than actual aircraft. So that's why I didn't get any anti-ATGM planes.
Yeah, I think there's nothing more satisfying than watching an Su-25K just fly around in circles, just absolutely annihilating everything. So yeah, that's why I like to have my anti-tank planes in play. Like, a lot like when you have like a Thunderbolt and it's run out of missiles and it's just like strafing the hell out of everything. It just looks so cool and it sounds so awesome.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right, so any final words or words of wisdom about these decks?
Well, we're going to have to choose our favorite unit.
We are going to have to do that for sure. I've chosen mine. And
All right.
I'm going for the DHS MI-24P chopper.
Of course you would.
Of course I am, because I think it's just a really, really nice chopper, especially with those anti-air missiles that can shoot down at aircraft, and the Kokons with their massive long range as well. My favourite unit definitely in this deck.
Yeah, it's probably the most effective unit in the deck as well, just for like the way the deck works.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to go next?
I think I'm probably going to have to go for the Su-25K. Actually, no, I'm going to go for the MiG-25 RBF.
Darn it!
The MiG-25 RBF, the best bomber you can get on this deck, is going to be very, very helpful for securing pushes with its nice carpet bomb ability of the 500 kilogram bombs.
Yep, cool. Silver.
I'm going to have to, since Vulcan took my choice that I just decided, and then he said it, I'm going to take the Sockles because these are very good for your initial helicopter push because they'll be able to shoot down any Blue 4 helicopter pushes as well as provide rockets to, on infantry that land on the ground. So it's very good for your infantry push at the start.
Yeah, I mean, you've got two sets, haven't you, at Veteran as well? And they've already got an accuracy of 55 and a stabilizer of 55. So, yeah, and considering probably maybe just under a half of the enemy's missiles will probably miss anyway, I think you're going to do really well with those, initial pushes. Very nice.
Yeah.
So I think that's about it. We'll wrap it up there and all get together and play some games with some of these different decks. We've got the Eastern Bloc Airborne deck. We've got the support deck, and we've got our armoured deck, and we're going to head off and play some games and put them up on the channel as well. So thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you in the next one.